Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Paint and Chat. It is Valentine's Day, and tonight we are sans Josh. Josh is off with his beautiful, beautiful bride doing Valentine's Day things, and I am with my two Valentines, Big Aaron and Sean. So thank you so much for joining me on Valentine's Day. I am going to go last in terms of talking about what I'm doing tonight because it's a little bit weird. But for those of you who are just joining us, remember to hit that like button, hit that bell button, subscribe if you never want to miss an update. We also have a Patreon that you can join if you want to help support us, and a Discord that you can join for free. But if you join through Patreon as a paid Patreon member, you will get special privileges. You get like a different color and some private chats, and just generally get to lord your betterness over the people who don't pay. Also,
Hmm.
we are streaming, at least my voice only, on the
Only your
app.
voice?
Well, yeah, on the app Clubhouse, because I have to figure out how to get whether I can get Clubhouse on the computer and then blah 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 and yada yada yada. So right now it's just me talking to nobody in Clubhouse, but maybe one day we will have control of the Warhammer 40K Clubhouse room, and that would be awesome. So this is our
It's our
first
secret
attempt to it's
plans.
our secret plan. Also, getting everything set up took me a little bit more time than I anticipated. So I might steal a bite of pretzel every now and again. I hope people don't mind that.
I do.
If you have misophonia, I will mute myself when I bite. Okay?
Yeah, you should. You should
Okay.
do that.
I will do that. But in terms of projects, I'm gonna go last because I'm gonna be crazy. We do have the Ripper
Okay.
Jackson giveaway today.
Yeah.
And I got the wheel loaded up, so at some point in time, probably closer to the end, we will be doing the Ripper Jackson giveaway. Everybody who liked and commented on the two YouTube videos and those new people who subscribe to our TikTok have been entered to win. And so I know
So
some
many
people,
people.
I've seen at least two people that have two entries. I think there's one person who have three entries. So
Oh.
so that is awesome. So we're definitely going to be giving away the Ripper Jackson today. But for our projects, Sean, what is happening with your
He's got like a little
you're
setup
just
there.
you're
Yeah,
just
man.
like
So
a
I
you're a
yeah,
box. All
I
right, you
wanted to to
Da da da
run stuff.
da.
So I got I did not get all my pre-order stuff like right when the Dark Angels release happened.
Yep,
Um,
stuff slim.
but yep, it took its time, and I still got another couple pieces on the way. But I have a whole bunch, and I bought a bunch of other stuff that I wanted as well. So I got the Combat Patrol box that you guys saw, Assault Intercessors, which is super fun. One of these guys.
Yeah.
There's a box of the shooty melted dude somewhere that I don't know where it is. And I already built the blade guards. And let me tell you, dude, the blade guards, like that multi-purpose kit, they give you a ton of different stuff. They did this.
Oh, that's the
We'll talk.
multi-purpose one, huh?
Yeah,
so
we'll
hold
talk
on,
about
hold on. I'm
stuff,
gonna have
but
to
all
I'm gonna have
sorts
to
of
cut
new
you
shit
off.
that I got and
What what is your hobby tonight?
Dark Angels.
But
Just
any
Dark Angels.
okay,
Look,
Dark Angels.
look
Aaron,
at my look at
what
my
is
stats.
your
Dark
hobby
Angels.
tonight?
My hobby? Plague bearers.
Plague
Or not
bearers.
plague bearers, poxwalkers. You think I would
Excellent.
get right? I just have hundreds of each.
Excellent. Well, what you see on the screen right now for me is the tray and the board that I use to do the top five, bottom five contrast colors for the I
Oh
Should
yeah.
Be Painting episode.
Oh yeah.
We will be talking about that a little bit later. I'm going to move that out of the way. And I decided that tonight I'm actually going to do part of the hobby that people don't really stream or show off. Like
What,
usually when it
what
comes
do
to
you mean?
hobby, people come in and they got their primed model or they got a sprue, you know what I mean? They have a plan. They're working on something specific.
Sure.
But the part of the hobby that
Dark
often
Angels.
doesn't get streamed, yep, you're working on Dark Angels, is like prepping and figuring out what your army is and making sure that you have everything together and understanding all the stuff that you have built. So I gathered because I'm now ready to to get back to work on my Space Marine army. So I scavenge the house for all of my unopened boxes. I scavenge the house for all of my sprues. And the first thing I'm going to be doing is going through what's built, what's not built, and then I'm going to be organizing it into the order that I'm going to be building them. And that probably shouldn't take me too much time. So once I sort of get organized, I will then build the new Space Marine Storm Speeder if there is time left. Now I ordered 6, and I only got 2. I don't know if I paid for 2 or if I paid for 6, but it doesn't matter. I have 2. So essentially what you're just going to be seeing me doing right now is just kind of like going through boxes, and I'm actually going to be starting out not with these nice like things that are still in boxes. I'm actually going to be starting out with this, which is a nightmare of Space Marine sprues that need to get organized so that I can begin the process of priming and painting and all of that good stuff. And I feel like a lot of times this part of the hobby gets skipped over, so that's what I'm going to be doing tonight.
Fun. All right.
Yeah, cool stuff.
Sounds like a process.
Now, Sean, I'm going to give you 7 minutes and 42 seconds of unfettered, uninterrupted time to wax poetical about your dark angels. So
All right, let's hear it.
Eat some food, Aaron. You got 7 minutes.
Yeah, I need it. Just so everybody knows what my food is, it's 4 frozen things. 2 of them are pretzels, 2 of them are White Castle burgers, and they're all burned because I left them in the toaster oven too long because I got distracted by the dog who wouldn't come
That is
inside.
a dinner of shame.
It is a super dinner of shame. All right, but you go
Didn't you
ahead.
used to have like a cooking YouTube show?
I mean, I am happy to feed myself with a fresh packet of Kraft singles, um, or fancy cheese. It
Uh-huh.
doesn't matter. Doesn't
No,
matter to me.
it's one and the same.
One and the same.
You're an everyman, huh?
I'm I'm an everyman, but not in the sense of like blue collar. I'm an everyman as in I want everything that every man has.
What
Wow.
the fuck just
All
happened?
right. I don't know. There's some classism somewhere in there, I think. But
I
don't
think
know.
there's a lot.
There's a lot of isms in there
There's
somewhere.
there's a lot going on. All right.
Oh.
All right, Sean, you go ahead and wax poetical about your dark angels.
So I'm super excited. All the rules are good. Everything that Space Marines can do, they can do, and they can do well.
What's the biggest change, would you say, for them?
Um,
And remind me, what's their chapter tactic?
so their chapter tactic is Grim Resolve, which is they changed it this edition, so I'm not entirely sure. It's in the main book. Let me go get the book so I'm not telling people silly things that aren't real.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
locked in a garage.
I give him
Metaphorically.
I give him
Metaphorically,
7.5 minutes to do whatever he wants, and he's
well,
like, hold
time
on.
is still ticking down. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, we're not
I believe
pausing the
it's a plus
clock. Here.
one.
I got
believe it's a plus one to hit if you don't move, and that
Okay.
you can only suffer a certain amount of casualties in the leadership, whatever, or only take a certain amount of penalties to leadership.
Yeah.
So everybody gets that, right? So your green dudes get that. And long story short, what that means is if you don't move, you get a plus one to hit. That's everything. If you don't move in close combat,
Yeah. So if
you
you
get a plus one to
charged,
hit.
boom. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're sitting on an objective, which everybody needs to do nowadays,
Yep.
you're plus one to hit. So that is just out the gate silly.
Just silly.
Yeah. And then with the changes that they made to the Terminator rules, as well as the super fancy um, you know, mobile stuff that has been released lately, the ATVs, the Storm Strike speeders, There is a tremendous amount of mobility and versatility in the Raven Wing, and Deathwing Knights.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I do.
Wait,
Okay.
okay, that wasn't 7 minutes though.
No, I know. I have
Nor
a
was that
question.
shit unfettered.
I have a question.
Have at.
I think last time we spent a lot of time going over just like the general stuff about the Dark Angels.
Okay, so you need some advanced tactics now.
No, I'm not. I mean, advanced tactics if you want to. What I'm interested in learning is now that you've read the Codex and you have an understanding of those rules, what are you doing? How is it affecting your hobby? What is your plan?
Very good. So I've been collecting Dark Angels. Dark Angels, specifically Deathwing, was the first Imperial thing that I ever collected, played. I did very well in many tournaments in 5th edition with Deathwing. I have played them in multiple Apocalypse games, all through all editions, right? I love the Dark Angels and I have lots of Dark Angels. So I am going to build an Apocalypse army. That is what I am doing with my Dark Angels. The idea is that this is an army that I will take once I get my vaccines and I can go throw down 4,000 points on a table with all my people, and I will smash them in the face with Terminators. And it's going to be awesome.
It is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I really want to smash face with some Terminators myself.
They're what they should be. That's 4-up. So this is the thing, right? There's lots and lots of, they're so broke because the 4-up, and it's like, no, they're expensive as fuck, and they're supposed to be little miniature tanks. Like, it harkens back to like the 2nd edition stuff that I've never played.
Is it a problem on a custode? No.
Exactly. Right? And we arguably do not have the punch that custodes have. But it is, I think it's super awesome, and I don't see any. At a 2,000 point match play game, you're restricted by so many things. You can't bring a whole army of Terminators and be successful. You have to have the Raven Wing. You have to have other support components, right? And they made
can't be greedy with just Terminators. I mean,
Yeah.
don't get silly. I mean, we all kind of want it, but
you can in APOC, right?
Well,
because I can use every Terminator I have and then be like, all right, do I want to run the Dreadnought Corps with them? Do I want to run the mechanized infantry with the transports, and Land Raiders and Predators and all the new main battle tanks?
Didn't you just like dig through your bits this weekend and find enough bits just to make like another 25 Terminators or something ridiculous?
2025, I haven't built them all yet, but Dark Angels are my thing, so I've been collecting. I keep hold of all the Terminator and all the weird random stuff that's related to.
And the chapter sprues and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. So like I'm sitting on top of a dozen of each upgrade sprue. I bought a bunch of veteran sprues, like the boxes, off of eBay a year ago. So I was like, at some point I want to build those. So I have like enough stuff to build like 15 Robed Fallen, or do company veterans. They did some weird stuff with the veterans. Ours work exactly like everybody else's, so I'm not sure how I want to play that. But I have like my back to Aaron's point, I have all these different little components, and they all have their stories, and they all have their things, and they're all part of my sub-chapter. So I have a detachment, which is the Lion Blade Task Force, which is the Razorbacks, and the mechanized infantry of the classic Marines that are led by a lieutenant and a librarian, and possibly a veteran squad made out of robed guys. And their job is to be classic tactical Marines and ride around in tanks and shoot shit to death. So they're like an element in my army, right? So it's not like, oh, well, I have a motor pool and here's all these tanks. It's like, okay, if I'm going to field those generally go together. And then there's 500 or 250 points that I have to play with to add something different into that army. So that's kind of always the way I'm looking at it. Is what is the core component of my army, and how can I make it flexible enough that I can put a bunch of stuff in there? Again, Apocalypse doesn't really matter except for you're putting multiples of these formations on the board, so you want them to have some sort of cohesion and function. Um, but in a match play game, it's very effective to play a core list and make a change of 100, 150 points every game you play to see how it affects the game, right? You're learning that, hey, what do I need to do differently, but also what can I expect to see the enemy do differently based on if they've made choices like I did before the game occurred, right? In list building.
Sure.
So it's really cool. So I have an entire Deathwing, I have an entire Raven Wing. My Raven Wing is a little bit light. It's more land speeders and support stuff. I don't have a bunch of regular land speeders or regular bikes.
Yeah, I might have a land speeder in bits that I can send you. I'm never going to use it.
Oh, right on. Well, that would be awesome. I would definitely do something with it. Um, but their purpose, the Raven Wing's purpose, at least in my stuff in my brain, is to support the Deathwing, right? So their job is to fly around and do stuff that the Deathwing can't, because the Deathwing are going to show up somewhere and murder what they can get a hold of.
All right, 60-second warning.
I love it. It's awesome.
Do you have a favorite spell?
I haven't dug into the spells yet. I read through them in the cards, but no.
Okay.
So I will review that.
Like crazy stratagem?
We got Weapons of the Dark Age back. That's super huge. There's a whole bunch of. Oh, it gives +1 damage to plasma weapons. There's another one that allows us to attack in close combat with our weapons, with our guns. So that's.
Oh, cool. I like it.
And then you get a lower ballistic skill, but then you didn't move, so it's +1, so you're hitting on like 4s. And it doesn't have all the same restrictions. I think you still can't shoot blast, but we're rocking bolters and bolt rifles and stuff like that. There's just so much cool stuff, and I'm really excited to play them, and I'm super pissed off at COVID now because.
Now you're pissed off?
Now I'm pissed off.
It took a long time.
Wow.
It took a long time, but he finally, the one thing that happened that broke him. So yeah, land speeders or storm speeders, I apologize, they are hard to find.
Are they?
It's all hard to find, dude. Everything is hard to find. They have been dealing with the restrictions and the problems from COVID for a year now. It has affected every part of their business, and they're still doing really well because we want it. But like shit is getting impossible to get a hold of.
Yeah. The new Lord of Virulence, I got him right here. He is a $35 character right now. If you go look on eBay, I think $75 to $85. Last I looked just a couple days ago. Wow. So everything's so limited right now. It's kind of.
All right, so here we go. I got I sort of got stuff laid out.
Okay.
I have I got my 3 gun emplacements put together. Obviously, I have my Hammerfall put together. I currently have 6. I think they're called Eradicators. That's what came in the box set.
Melt-A-Guns.
Yeah.
Yep.
It looks like I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 Assault Primaris, which means that I must have at least another 10 to build.
Don't worry about it. You can only fit 6 in an Impulsor, plus you don't want to get up to a squad of 10 if we're metagaming. So 3 squads of 6 is actually right where you want to be.
So I'm just telling you what I have to build. I have 2 I have 2 of the new characters with the crazy blunt sword, which for some reason his name is just Justicar. Is it a Justicar? I got 2 Justicars to build. I have at least 6 Ancient Guard. Is that what they're called? Primaris Ancients?
The Ancients. And I also don't think it's Justicar. I think it's like a Justikai or something.
Justikai. I have 3 more bikes to build. And then just a lot more assault. I think I have it like at least another 10, if not more. That's what's on sprue out of a box.
Okay.
In the boxes, I have this will make Sean happy. I have a Primaris Chaplain on bike.
Yeah.
I have a box of the Eradicators, and I'm actually I'm gonna open the box of Eradicators right now because I want to see this. I want to see the sprue. I'm really, really hoping that it comes with 3 of the double melt-a-gun or whatever they're calling it now.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be disappointed.
Yeah, it's
not good.
it's only 1, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh, that's a bummer. That's a bummer. Like,
Well,
like I understand why they do that, but the fact that it's in the like starter box, I feel like they should give you 3 so that you can fill out the squads that you already have. But that's
I would agree with you entirely. Did you count how many heads are on those sprues there? Just real quick, take note of how many heads are on those sprues.
there's a billion heads on the sprue.
Why would they do that, Aaron?
Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the heads are useless because they don't have helmets.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah.
Really, 10 without
Wait,
helmets.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm sorry, 9 without helmets, and then
Yeah, I don't.
4 with helmets. So it looks like there's not even no. There's 3 in the box, so there's enough to have them all helmeted. Yeah, so it looks like I only get 1 of those doubles, but I guess that's okay. I don't know how many eradicators I need. I guess I can convert. I can use the other melta-guns to convert them into the double eradicator, right?
I mean,
Sure.
you absolutely could.
Yeah. All right. So that's fine. So we can make a couple of the new guns there. So that's good. 1 box will do it, but that is a little bit disappointing. Obviously, I have the 2 storm speeders of the 6, which is very, very frustrating. I have my Primaris chaplain on bike, which should make Sean very happy. I'm just gonna leave this storm speeder on the side here because obviously I'm gonna start working on that, aka screw it up here in a minute. I have this really
Glue
old.
yourself to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna glue myself. I have this really old box with the Tech Marine and Servitors, and I believe that not only is the Tech Marine still a viable unit, but I believe that the Primaris Tech Marine can take advantage of the Servitors in the core rules. So,
I think so.
So that's something that needs to get done for this army is the servitors. I had like a really long time ago. I don't know if you guys remember this. I don't think it still exists, but there was like the Tech Marine with like the giant beam laser.
Mm-hmm.
And like
the conversion beamer.
Yeah, the conversion beamer. And I had like a whole army built around like having 6 of those. But I don't think that's a thing anymore. So I have that box. That's definitely going to get built and painted. Then I have a box of Centurions that are unbuilt. And this box is really important because all of my other Centurions are.
At the studio?
Well, other than the fact that the studio, but I believe that they are Grav and Bolter, so this will allow me to make the other set of Centurions so that I can pick and choose which Centurions I want to have. But not new stuff. Then let's get into the new stuff. 1,
All right.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ATVs.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
So my plan was to have 6 storm speeders and 6 ATVs. Right now it is 4 and 2. So we'll have to figure that out.
You can play Gorka Morka as a Space Marine now.
I could play Gorka Morka. So that's getting organized. That's nice to know what I have. And then also I got the miasmic Malinga fire.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, uh-huh. It's the poop ovens.
This, however, is to bring to life. Listen, people say things to me. They say things like, "Hey, Aaron, you should, write a song
Buy
about
a poop oven.
cantaloupes," and then I go and do it. And Aaron was like, "Hey, you know what you could do? You could like make a kitchen out of all of the different furnaces that GW has put out." And I'm like, yeah, I could. And then I could buy a Morty, or not a Morty, a Great Unclean One, and I could modify him into like the Butcher from Diablo.
Yeah.
And I could make like a him in the kitchen diorama and just use all the different stuff. So
Love it.
I bought something that I don't need or want or care about to make a diorama for somebody who I do need, want, and care about, and that's Aaron. But
Yeah.
he didn't. He's not making me do it. I'm just going to do it. But
No.
this
I
obviously
just
is.
had an idea. I was the muse.
It's just, yes, you're the muse. Is not part of the. Is not part of the plan. The plan for tonight is to see how badly I can screw up building a storm speeder.
A thing.
All right. Well,
But
you already
while
burned a half hour talking about the process. Dig into it, man.
oh my goodness,
Rip open.
I spun the wheel, but that spin doesn't count. Sorry, buddy. I'm not even going to tell you who it was because it doesn't count.
What?
So
he's spinning the wheel?
I clicked it by accident, so we'll have to click it again.
Got me all excited.
You want to talk about, by you I mean Aaron, you want to talk about Curse City, yeah?
I want to always talk about Curse City. You will hear me talk about Curse City until it's in my hands, and then you're going to hear about it a lot more.
Okay, so Curse City's up on the screen. Give me your Curse City talk.
So Curse City, just a little highlight. We do have a new hero character. It is a elfie woods chick with a bow and antlers and 3 ponytails.
3, you say?
3. Well, it has to be odd because that's more aesthetically pleasing. And 3 allows you to have more wiskiness.
Wait. Hold on. 3 is more aesthetically pleasing. Odd is more aesthetic.
It's an odd number. Yes. You went to art school. You should know this.
But what is, I don't know what rating we're keeping. I don't think we keep this podcast G rated. It's hard for me to not be G rated.
Okay.
But certain genitalia come in pairs.
Yeah, right.
So I'm just gonna have to argue with you there. That's all I have to say.
Oh, okay. Anywho, I don't know how we got off track here, but
I think that we need to call Josh.
Yeah, call Josh. I'm scared now. And she's pretty cool. That's all that's really going on there. But I just wanted to point that out. She's pretty cool. Looking forward to more characters. I think they're going to probably reveal a bad guy next. I have some fingers crossed for like maybe a werewolf. Because I've been getting this like whole vibe of like Castlevania sort of thing going on with this.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And like I was reading more about it, and by looking at places on the map and a little bit of the lore, I think we're going to get like undead root sort of zombies. Like
what's a root zombie?
So like
it's like a
the
rutabaga.
Yeah, I can't really remember all the AOS because it's been a while, but the tree peoples, right? And like there's like some
the Sylvaneth and the
like,
dryads.
Well, yeah, anyways, there's like dead buried in a graveyard, and there's like Sylvaneth, like they're fighting them or whatnot. So there's zombies coming up, and from the silhouettes, it looks like roots and trees coming out of their like heads and backs.
I just want to know that I really, really confidently pulled out of my like quick reach area what I thought was a razor blade, and it's a ballpoint pen.
Oh.
And I was very, very confused for a second.
But yeah, so I would also like to talk about something that wasn't really hyped much at all. There was one little article on the GW site, and it was just one on the sidebar, and it said, peek inside, 3 new Warhammer box games arriving in 2021. This is from the 3rd, so it's been around for a while, but I listened to a lot of the podcasts and stuff, and I didn't hear a lot of people talking about this. But these are 3 of the little box games like you can get at like, was it Barnes and Nobles and Target that they're selling at, but not at our game stores. Just to get people in, like buying board games off the shelf and seeing something like this and be like, oh, this looks like fun. And it's of course all like the snap fit and whatnot. But there's 3 boxes here. The one that really excites me is this Bladeborn, which is really Warcry. Looking at it, like it's literally the Warcry tokens and die, and it has Warcry cards, and they have the Warcry like ability cards. But what's really interesting is the 2 war bands are from Warhammer Underworlds. Like one of them is the Godsworn Hunt. That's like they're like the plains fighters, and then the other one is the Chaos. Like
Hmm.
just like whatever the just vanilla Chaos
So
are.
do you think that this is just a one-off, or do you think it's indicative of some
No, this is just them. Like
plot?
they do. No, I don't think it's really some plot, but I mean, I could always see them putting out like White Dwarf the Warcry cards for some new Warhammer Underworlds game or box set. I mean, I don't know why they haven't really done it sooner, but the fact that this is just kind of a cool little board, also, it's just kind of like a little arena to fight in. You know, it's basically an intro here, and it's probably not like a full 1,000 points. It's probably like half that at most. But I just thought that was cool. They're throwing in Warhammer Underworlds models into Warcry. Just a little box, and they're probably like I think these are usually like $30 to $60 at the stores. So I'd be interested to see. Then
I
the
mean, the
next one,
miniatures are really pretty. They're not
right?
recasts, right? They're new.
No, that's what I'm saying. They're from Warhammer Underworld, so they
Oh,
are
okay.
from one of their other games that they're mixing back into this, and I think it's a really smart
And
idea.
then you have Doomsday Countdown.
Right. So if you need some new cultists, because
Oh,
always hate the
dude,
old
those are
cultists,
really cool looking.
yeah, those are the ones that
Wow.
came from Blackstone Fortress. They have basically kind of like they have renegades and also cultists out of that set. So if you're looking for new ones, go check those out in those box sets. But the Blackstone Fortress stuff is just like not in stock really right
So
now
here's the
anymore.
here's my question, so I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Okay.
Are they the same models that you get in Blackstone Fortress,
Yes.
or are they different models?
Nope. Same models.
Okay, same model. So it's
Yep.
another place to get those models, should you
Yep.
want those
And
models.
you get three Marines. Kind of cool. The tokens look like I think they might be more like Kill Team. It kind of looks like that. And then the next one just down below is Fire Team, which is more Space Marines, but it's 5 Assault Marines and I think probably 10 Necron Warriors with 3 Scarabs. So just a little snippet from the Indominus box. I wouldn't expect that this one to be more than $30 just because it's just 5 Assault Marines and everyone has enough Necrons now to last them for a decade.
All right. Well, we got a bunch of stuff going on in the chat. First of all, Zydan, who by the way I will confirm, I know your name is in the drawing at least twice. I don't know if you signed up for TikTok under a different name, but I did see you posting on both of the other videos, so thank you so much. He says
Yeah.
servitors, yup, keyword tech marine to take them without a slot and upgrade their ballistic skill and weapon skill. So
Hmm.
firstborn tech marine is still in the codex.
All right. Okay.
All right. So then we have Starhawk with certain genitalias come in pairs, quote unquote. Thank you.
Yep.
I
Hmm.
love it. They
I
do.
mean, haven't you seen the movie Total Recall? I have seen the movie
Yes.
Total Recall, and um, that's all I have to say about that.
Did you find it more appealing that there were 3 boobs in Total Recall?
I mean, yeah.
See, see, but
Len,
and then the
Len,
classic one that comes in pairs.
but I mean, the pairs are pretty top notch.
All right, moving on.
Trainaholics has painted a full table of medieval city stone
Insane.
work, and my back is killing me. Well, hopefully, this is the diagnosis that you need to feel better, Sir Trainaholic. By the way, the competition video between Trainaholic and I for the foam build off part 2 is complete. I have gotten all the reactions, I have tallied all of the scores. The winner
Oh,
is
okay.
known, the video is shot, and it shall be edited and posted most likely for Thursday of next week. Tomorrow
Yeah.
we are going to be having a video from Josh, which is him painting an X-wing using contrast paints, which is pretty cool. And we're probably actually going to get 3 videos next week because we are going to get Chapter 3 of Sisters of Battle VR.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
We are going to get the conclusion of the build off, and we're going to get the X-wing. So pretty exciting. We got a lot of content.
Busy week. Yeah.
A lot of content coming out next week. I am desperately trying not to screw up step 1 right now. I just want
Which is just cut things out.
Well, it's cut things out and glue them together, but I'm just even having a hard time finding the things to cut out.
Oh boy. All right.
I will say that if this goes badly,
You got more.
then I'm gonna blame the fact that the first piece, its number is 66.
Uh-huh.
That's
This go like badly? Do you mean like if you start bleeding on air? That would be bad.
Yeah.
Such a cop out.
Yeah. Anything that goes wrong, I'm blaming on piece 66 being the first piece that I had to cut out in order to make this thing happen.
We've all seen you glue stuff to your finger within minutes.
I mean,
moments, mere instants.
Y'all are
hard.
You're harsh but fair.
I'm glad.
Damn right.
And it is time for glue. So, I guess we'll.
Okay, guys.
All right.
We'll
stand back.
We'll
Keep
see.
doing science.
Stand back.
First one to type 911 into the chat. After we have blood on camera.
Yeah, just keep your finger hovered over call.
Jackson.
Aaron's address is 113.
Oh my god. It's like the opposite of swatting, you know, it's known Warhammer. Yeah, known Warhammer injury. Live stream call in. I don't want this glue. This glue's upsetting me. Go away. I want this glue. So here we go.
Aaron, which glue did you use?
It's just Bob Industries?
They're all Bob. Well, no, actually, I mean, technically it was Bob's Industries, but that one was from local friendly game store Grognard's, but it's super empty, so it takes forever to get the glue where I want it to be.
Is Bob's Industries everywhere? Is anyone out there not seeing a Bob's Industries? And if you're not familiar, it's one of these bottles. Sometimes your game store will have their sticker right up here in the silver part.
Always.
Yeah. Well, I got a blank one. I might have gotten that online though. Sometimes they just say like Bob Smith Industries. They got all your glue needs. They're high quality, fair price.
High quality, fair price, Bob's Industries. We got all your gluing needs, and everything we sell comes in threes to be more aesthetically pleasing.
Ooh.
I love it.
Three sets of glue? I would buy 3 sets of glue.
That's how I've been buying them. I think it's actually 4. I think it's actually 4.
I have a thing.
Tell me about it.
So I have a trillion Deathwing guys, like I said.
Yeah.
And I clipped out a bunch of stuff. And I now need to find these weird little wings that attach to the back of the Terminators to make them look like sergeants. This guy has the ones that came in the Dark Vengeance kit. Well, I mean, it's built into the model, but they did something like that.
The giant, like, bunny ears?
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, they're giant bunny ears, bro.
Okay. I mean, Donnie Darko, not a problem. You know what I mean? Wait, should we all just spontaneously sing Mad World? And
No. No one's going to spontaneously sing.
Okay.
Okay, I wouldn't have stopped you.
I don't know the whole song. I've actually been practicing it though. So there's like a bunch of changes in my life that I don't know if you guys know about. I know that the audience doesn't know about. So first of all, I'm really into costume and cosplay right now.
Yeah.
So
kind of ebb and flow in that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm like feeling a lot more confident about just jumping in and wearing it and doing it and being like, I like this thing, so I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean?
Word.
So
Yeah.
I'm working on a custom Sith costume. You guys are gonna love this because it's so me. The entire lore is just that it's a purple Sith.
I love it.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
it's very you.
yeah, so it's purple and black. Um, it's currently an amalgamation of a variety of other pieces of costumes, including some stuff that I got from a Kylo Ren costume and some other like movie prop stuff that I have. But I finally got it to the point where now I know the parts and pieces that I want to make, right?
Mhm.
So I'm starting to work on that. And then the other thing is because of TikTok, I've gotten back into singing. So I was actually really into singing in like high school and middle school, and not
Okay.
just because I was super good at it and required to do it. Um, but
So you
everything.
have the humility for it.
Take that, all you modest fuckers.
Well, I mean, like everything went to shit when my voice changed, right? Like, thank God I was born when I was born because I would be a soprano still if I was born in another era. But once that whole puberty thing happened, like my ability my abilities went away and I didn't pursue it. But I've been kind of pursuing singing and I wanted to learn Mad World because I thought it was going to be easy. And dude, that song is not easy.
No. I
No.
don't. I to be honest, I don't know what this song
It's
is.
Oh, you don't know Mad World?
I mean, I probably heard it, but I
Oh.
just don't know the name.
Oh, okay.
Tears for Fears did it originally.
Okay.
That's the one that
I don't think that
like
I think
radio played.
I think
All right,
that's
now you have to start singing.
I think that's incorrect. I
Okay,
think
I thought that Tears for Fears were
I
the ones who wrote the song.
I think that the writer of Donnie Darko wrote the song and even
Oh no,
did the
no, no,
original
no, no,
cover.
no, because the song was out back in the '80s.
Okay.
So someone else wrote the song before the Donnie Darko people. I like the Donnie Darko version. Very much. I want to say the Pixies, but I'm probably wrong.
No, I
Yeah,
don't
it's
think it
definitely
is the
not the Pixie.
Pixies.
Definitely not the
Definitely not the
Pixies.
Pixies.
Do we have the answer in the chat? Back in the old days, castration process only had 1 in 10 survival rate. Well, I would have survived. They would have made sure of it because I sounded beautiful.
Okay.
Yep.
I've never heard anyone say, "Save him. He's a singer."
They would have. They would have. So I'm just saying that in my personal life, partially because of TikTok, partially because of my own, I don't know, growth as a human, costuming and singing has become part of my life again. That's all I'm saying.
Very cool. I like it. Can't always do the same thing. You gotta change it up every
So
once in a while.
so has karate, yoga, and being really good at Beat Saber. But you know,
Yeah, even crushing the Beat Saber.
such is life. Speaking of Beat Saber, I started another channel. It's called Derezed,
What?
which of course I stole from Tron, right? Which that's when you die in Tron, you're derezed. And then I got for Twitch, I got re-resed. So my Twitch channel is re-resed and my YouTube channel is derezed.
Okay.
Huh.
And that is just all going to be focused on VR content. And my logo is me riding Shiba in space shooting laser.
Wow, Shiba
Yeah.
is a very, very tiny, I guess you could call dog.
Yes.
So
She
that
is
will be
basically a
interesting.
rat that has been given a pass.
Dude,
Yeah,
rats are significantly larger than Shiba.
it's true. It's true.
Like,
You couldn't see me cackling because of the camera.
I mean, maybe baby rats. Like, maybe baby rats. Oh man, I feel like I understand how this piece goes.
Oh boy. Famous last words.
Famous last words. I don't even know if it's piece 8 anymore. It looks like piece 8. I don't understand how this piece goes. This is bad. You know what? While I figure this out, we're gonna move to another topic. Who wants to talk about Aaron getting tricked by another GW article?
I think it's the same one. You've been tricked by this one twice. I'm pretty
So,
certain.
of course, it says New Year, New Army, and I'm scrolling through, and I'm like, dude, look at all these awesome new models. And I called or whatever, checked with Big Aaron, and I'm like, there's not actually any new models, right?
No.
Like they're just implying that you should start a new army, right?
No, your words were something along the lines of, are my eyes deceiving me? Are they talking about new armies? And I said, no, those troll models are like 10 years old.
Okay.
They just want you to buy them now.
Yeah, they get me every time.
All right, check out my Terminator. Stop talking about things that aren't Terminators.
Okay. Your Terminator is dope. I like his back
Sergeant.
spikes.
She's pretty fucking cool. He looks like he's
excited.
got a spoiler on his head.
He does,
he's
man.
Fucking cool.
He's a fucking Satan bunny.
Okay, 72, 99, 75. I need to make sure this is the right piece because it is not fitting the way it looks as though it's described.
So, Aaron, I will say there have been pictures going around, and I assume they are correct. I have not opened my box yet, but if you are assembling either the Gatling cannon or the multi-melter or whatever the tri-melta cannon for the front, there's like one part that has a pin, and the other part should have like the female receptacle for the pin, but also has a pin instead.
What?
Okay.
And I've seen that like 3 different places. So you may run into a thing and be like, "What the fuck?" And there's actually a problem with the kit.
I wish that was the problem I was having.
Well, that will be a problem.
Gravity pads.
But it's not. Okay, I got it. I figured it out. I did it. I'm a genius.
Okay.
My ability to follow basic instructions that are well laid out and even gives you a secondary picture qualifies me for Mensa. Hold on. Let's just double check the age on this particular kit.
Yeah. Let's see how well you beat children at putting I'm sorry,
12 plus.
Yeah, a 12-year-old is a child.
Damn it. Well, I'm a Mensa child. Okay.
I think that's exactly how it
works. So people in the chat are warning me. They're warning me that the front be difficult. Terminators, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Hey, it's Arnold. I'll be back.
Man, can you imagine Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator armor?
I have an
Terminator in Terminator?
I have an Arnold Schwarzenegger story.
Oh, okay.
It's not mine. It's my late brother's story.
Okay.
So he went to Caicos, and I think it's in Mexico, right? Isn't Caicos in Mexico?
I don't know. You're telling the story.
I don't even understand the word you're saying.
Caicos. It's one of those fancy, warm, fun, summery places. It's in the south. It's either an island or part of Mexico. I don't know. Turks and Caicos. It's a place. Beautiful place. And he was at a resort, and he was playing tennis. And in the tennis court next to him was Arnold Schwarzenegger and one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's friend. And so my brother just kept accidentally hitting his ball into Arnold's court so that he could go over there and be like, "I'm sorry. We're just like bad at the game. How are you?" Right? And then Arnold's like, "I'm fine." And then they just keep doing it over and over and over and over and over again. And he was very, very proud of bothering Arnold Schwarzenegger while he was trying to play tennis.
Yeah, stick it to Arnold Schwarzenegger. You can't be awesome at everything.
No, Arnold was fine. I'm sure he was fine.
I know. I'm sure he was. Yeah, so you gotta stop him from being even better.
Exactly. You gotta bother celebrities. It's a rule.
I mean, they brought it upon themselves.
They did. You become famous and you get bothered.
Yeah, I mean, small price to pay for the millions of dollars
I
you're
just
getting paid.
I don't know if I can zoom in on this on the camera. This camera's supposed to focus really fast.
But does it? That's
No. There is the cutest little teeny tiny skull. I think it's the smallest little skull that I've ever seen. Here we go.
it's an enjoyable
There's
skull.
a really teeny tiny cute skull on the storm speeder. It's like
Yeah.
it's like so teeny teeny weeny compared to the ship. They're just like here, skull.
Just a little skull for no reason, just chilling down there.
So 34, 35, and then 29, 29. Cool. Cool beans and sauce.
I'm so happy with the sergeant.
Yeah.
So cool. He's like the coolest model I've ever built.
I mean, you've built a lot of really cool models.
Dude, you do build a lot of really cool models.
I mean, you
So,
are the resident kit basher.
we're 50 minutes in, which is scary.
Yeah, because of how little you've gotten done.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But so today's I should be painting is top 5 contrast paint, bottom 5 contrast paint,
Yeah.
which I've been working on for a long time, and I know a lot of other channels have done like contrast paint reviews. It's been about 2 years since contrast paint has come out.
Been that long. Wow.
I have my own opinions. Lots of people have other opinions. Um,
I'm using them right now.
so what I came up with is dropping everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That's fun.
step
It's a
one.
great place to start.
Step one, drop everything. Okay. If you haven't seen the video, you should still watch it because I go in a lot more depth than just talking about it. But for the sake of stimulating conversation on this wonderful, wonderful show of ours, uh, the top. You want me to start with the top 5 or the bottom 5?
Let's do with the bottom 5. I want to hear the stinkers and then get to the good stuff.
Okay, so I did not put them in order of like I just said bottom 5. You know what I mean? It's not 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 or 1, 2, 3, 4,
Sure,
5. It's just
sure,
bottom
sure.
5. All right. So,
Yeah.
uh,
We'll
Dark,
manage it.
Dark Angels green, Magos
Ugh.
Magos purple,
Okay.
Saish purple, Nazdrag yellow, and Ultramarine blue.
Yeah, those are all pretty bad colors.
No, whatever. Talk.
So so
Oh, okay,
so
talk.
hold on. This is what I will say. Um, the only paint that I actually think is a trash can paint is Ultramarine Blue. And here, let me tell you why. I tried to mix Ultramarine Blue for 20 minutes and I could not get it to mix properly back. Like it just like I literally could watch it like slow motion pearlescence and oil just like not come back. And on the base that I painted, there are
Yeah.
literally parts that are green.
Okay, that doesn't make sense.
It's just bad. It's
Okay.
just bad. But Josh is real mad at me for putting Nasdaq on the bottom. So those are the bottom 5. Let's
That's
talk
why he's really not here tonight.
yeah, let's talk about those. What do you guys think about those
Yeah,
as the bottom 5?
the purple are complete trash.
See, I
I
don't
find that they're
why?
because the dark purple is too dark and
Yes.
it doesn't give you any sort of highlights. It's just all purple, dark purple. And also that one, well, both of them. The other one's also a little too pink. Like it's not a good purple. It's kind of more of like in that Emperor's Children ish kind of pinkish purple sort of range. Not fantastic, and neither one of them really blends well with other contrast paints. If you want to be like a cool kid doing wet blending, but you don't want to spend all the time trying to do wet blending, you can do wet blending with contrast paints, and some of them blend really, really well. And you can do really simple things. Like if you want to do fire, just grab a red and yellow contrast paints and then just blend them together. And like it's a beautiful fire. Anywho,
So
yeah, purple's
so
trash.
the dark purple I agree with you 100%. It's way too dark. It looks bad on that model. I could see some limited uses for it. I don't. I 100% agree that both of those don't blend well. I did do some blending attempts off camera. I will say that the other purple, the lighter purple being a pink, I don't have a problem with, but now that I know what it is, I can I can come up with uses for it.
Yeah, you can plan around it not
But
being a good purple.
but it's not as advertised. It's not like, hey, I need this cloak to be purple. Let me smack this on there. Like
Yes.
you're
You
either
as an
you're
expert of purple.
you're either yeah, I do. I man, boy oh boy do I love purple. You do either wind up with like something that's so purple it's almost black and just kind of ruins the idea of contrast, or something that's just like really light pink.
Yeah.
But what do you think, Sean?
So Nasdaq yellow is the one of the two primary colors for my Tyranids.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I think that I have a pot of Ultramarines Blue, and I do think that it is too sucky, thin,
It
whatever word.
doesn't cover over surfaces
Yeah,
well.
and I don't know, maybe like if you put it on a gray or something weird, but I normally do all my stuff on grays. Anyway, my application of it for normal blue stuff has not worked very well. Now I drip it with another color of blue onto the wings of my Tyranids while they're wet, and swirl that
Interesting.
around. And
Yeah.
it's a total pain in the ass process, but it looks really
But
cool.
you're doing that
And
wet blending with it. Yep.
but it's super super wet blending. It's not
Right.
like, oh, I'm merging these colors with a paintbrush.
But
I'm
here's the
literally
thing. But here's the thing. That's an ultra like my main point with the contrast is like every single thing that you can buy from a hobby's perspective, you can find a niche use for. The
Yes.
color ultramarine blue is
you
not
would
supposed to
expect to be the
be
baseline. You poured this all
exactly. It's
over
not
every
supposed to be like
ultramarine
in the event that I have Tyranids and I want them to have blue wings. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
well,
It
it does not
blended
do.
well.
Yeah, so it does not do what it is supposed to, which is be the blue of ultramarines for all of the flagship line. So failed on
Um,
that part.
Yep.
so that's why
Nasdaq
that
yellow, I think, is fine. I think that the contrast paint really depends a lot on what you're actually applying it to.
so
Well,
Josh
here's the problem with that. Can
Awesome.
I just say my problem? I 100% agree, and I found lots of applications for contrast paints that are not on the bottle, as it were. Um, but they're made for like people getting into the hobby, right? And just to slap some paint on real quick. They shouldn't be expected to know all the tips and tricks with them. And if someone new in the hobby has to know the perfect time to apply, uh, this certain blue or this purple and blend it with blah 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 blah, then it's kind of a fail in my opinion.
I agree with you, and having that benchmark is important. So I talked to Garfy Graham. Garfy Graham is that really awesome person who's been posting all of those really amazing like dioramas and scenic scenes, and I believe even got like recognized by White Dwarf and has been hired by GW to shoot and post in GW magazines of models.
Oh, like just taking like cool models and then doing awesome live action or live or like background scenes and stuff
Yes.
like that, right? Yeah,
Yes.
and effects
Yes.
and yep.
Yes.
And he also has a side company which we featured of like 3D printed hand holders and all this stuff, and he's a really good painter. And he put Nasdaq yellow on the bottom because the paint itself is not shelf stable. And unlike the paints that have that weird whiteness on the bottom that you need to mix in, that
Mm-hmm.
one actually separates into two layers where like there's this really weird black ichor on top. Now, I brought that up to Josh, and then Josh sent me a picture of Nasdaq yellow looking absolutely perfect,
Mm-hmm.
because he says it's one of his top colors, and I agree it is a fantastic color when it's working. And I was like, dude, but you shook the bottle. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, but that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that it's not a shelf stable product, and
So you got to use it fast.
and another like masterclass painter has found that that has even become a problem when he shakes it up and then 15 minutes later it's like falling out of suspension, which is not good. But in general, all of the contrast browns, including Nasdrath yellow, are like good. You know what I mean? Like they're just good colors that work well. But I put it on the bottom, not because I didn't like the color, not because I don't think it has good uses or anything, just because it had that shelf stable thing, and he was like, "Go look at your bottle," and sure enough, my
Alright.
bottle was broken into two layers, a black ichor and a weird yellow thing on the bottom,
Gross.
and I had to shake it
Decide
hard.
if you're telling the truth or not.
Well, pull out yours.
That's what I'm looking for,
Pull
and
it
I'm
out.
trying to be very careful so I don't swirl it.
I will say right now, putting together the storm speeder over the land speeder is a delight.
Oh god, the land speeders are so miserable to build.
These are much nicer. These are much
Well, there's like
nicer.
only what, like 15 years apart.
Yeah, there you go.
I thought you were making a pun for a second, and then I
There's a
realized
layer
that
of
you
black
weren't.
on the bottom, there's a layer of pigment in the middle, there's a layer of black on top.
Yeah,
Oh, look
look
at
at
that.
that. Yeah.
And so let me find something else lightish
Until
color.
Wait, I
So,
might have
so
it
you look
too.
at this
though
one,
Hold
right?
on.
And you
I'm
can
gonna
see
have
a
to do some
not
stuff.
nearly the same level of discontinuity between
oh,
whatever the
none
hell is
whatsoever.
in there.
There's like a thicker suspension down at the bottom and a thinner suspension up at the top, but it's more or less the same color. Yeah, so nope.
Nasdrag, did you say?
Yeah, that was Nasdrag, man.
Yeah. So here's mine. Look at that. How much black is up top?
Yep.
Wow.
It's
Totally split.
Oh, but you know what? Then I
what?
got my Magos purple split.
But Magos purple is also on the bottom. It's also in the in the bottom 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but now I'm interested. So it looks like the rest of the contrast. It looks like they split, and I use these things fairly often.
I
It's
mean,
not like this first.
I just realized I had half my lights off. I have them all in front of me. I have almost every contrast paint in front of me, and none of that, like a bunch of them have like that weird coloring on the bottom. You know what I mean? That you have to get mixed in.
Uh huh.
But none of them have like that weird tripper layer of ichor.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't see it on any other paint. Now I
Yeah.
can't tell you about my washes and stuff.
And now it looks
Um,
kind of like poopy, like baby poop kind of color.
um,
Like it's
but
something that
that's where I'm
Josh would
good.
use on his Marble Crisis Protocol bases.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I do agree with Josh that that its color itself and its usefulness is good. So I can see why he would overlook it, just saying, "Look, you just got to shake it up, and then it's fine." And he's like, "You got to shake up all the paints anyways." But that's the decision that I made. So that's my bottom 5. My top 5, because I didn't just want them to all be browns. my
I mean,
top
the browns
5,
are good. I think
my
that's universal.
my top 5 are Aethermatic Blue,
Uh-huh.
Ayindin Yellow, Apothecary White, Achelian Green, and Skeleton Horde.
Yep. The blue and the green, fantastic. Those are two of my
I
favorites.
I would agree with all of those. I would just have to go through and do like an actual assessment, including the Crimson Slaughter red or Flesh Terrors red. There we
Yeah,
go, and Blood
flesh
Angel
tears.
red. So I think those two reds are fantastic.
I
Here's
think the flesh tears slightly ekes
Yeah,
out, and that's what I'm using on my word bearers is the flesh
yeah,
eaters.
yep.
here's the one thing that I will say.
No.
In terms of like actually being a game changer, like a super game changer, if I had to pick one contrast paint, if I was only allowed to pick one and then all the rest were going to be removed from existence, I
Uh-huh.
would pick Apothecary White. Because
Yeah.
for me, and I have easily 300 different paints in front of me,
Right.
I have no replacement for Apothecary White. Like, you could get rid of all my contrast browns and I would be sad, but I have 3 other brown washes that I could make work. You know what I mean? You could get rid
Sure.
of my greens and my blues. I have purple washes, I have blue washes, like, I have other ways of doing that. I have never had a product like Apothecary White that lets me make such, like, take a grayish white model like this one and just like seriously make it look like white but with shading. I mean,
Something already zenithal, right?
yeah, Yeah,
Yep, just like I think
it's
David Vaughn
amazing.
just mentioned that. Yep,
It's
it's
a
all about getting that zenithal.
it's amazing. Like it's actually amazing, and it's not unless I guess unless I don't have inks in my collection. So maybe if you have inks in your collection, you could be like whatever. You could just use a white ink. But
Yeah, it's not the same. Like
it's
white ink is better than like a regular white, to be honest. But
I think
yeah,
the
you can't really do the same because the apothecary white is white, but when it settles, it does have a gray tint in the recesses,
yeah, it's
and white ink
freaking
doesn't.
awesome. And it's like you put the apothecary, well, like let's say you're doing a shoulder pad or something and you put the apothecary white on and then you can literally just dab the top of the shoulder pad with your finger or a Q-tip or a paintbrush or something and boom, like
Boom.
there's your highlight. You know what I mean? Like I think the
I
apothecary white is a magical color.
I agree with you on that, man. I use the apothecary white for all my white stuff now. My white stuff gets painted white, and then apothecary white on top of it. That is part of the reason why I'm so excited about these Ravenwing, and the Deathwing, is that I think that contrast paints are going to be amazing, right? Because it's bone white and black,
And I have to
and the
say,
apothecary goes in there.
the black really goes well over black. Like it's difficult for a lot of people to shade blacks and to like get that right gray level, but it does kind of like do a little bit more in the recesses, like
I
I
mean,
So,
said.
so do you think I should zenithal highlight all of the Ravenwing and then hit it with the
Black
black doom wheel?
Templar, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think the Black
I would
Templar,
say give it a
I
shot.
like the Black Templar. I use the Black Templar on my pipes, but I feel like the Black Templar is too black. I feel like it suffers from the purple for me, like the same thing as the purple. Um,
interesting.
I think it's too black, but
Where you don't get enough highlight.
where you don't get enough highlight, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Not that I
yeah,
don't I use it all the time. Like it has a great purpose, but
yeah.
um the difference between like obviously a purple that just makes everything purple is a lot less useful than a black that makes everything black, you know?
Right.
Hmm.
So
But if it's not saving me any steps, I'll just fucking airbrush them black.
Right.
I use the
So
black
that's
on my bolters, right? So I will do
Over
um
silver, it looks good. Yeah.
yeah, I will do this. I'll layer paint the silver and like details, and then I'll put the contrast black, the abat I forgot what color it is. It's not abaddon black. Um,
Black Templar.
Back Templar, thank you. Over that, and I find that like pretty good for the weapons and engines and things like that. But it's also one of those colors that doesn't mix well, and it's one of those dangerous colors where it's very hard to cover over if it goes somewhere that you don't want it, and it does a really good job of covering over other contrast colors that you don't want to be covered over. So um, it's a little bit more tricky of a paint, I think, overall.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Alrighty. So how much time do we got left? It's 9:38. We're gonna spin the wheel.
Do it. Spin the
Uh,
wheel.
no, I think we should save that for the very end.
Oh, it's gonna be a nail biter. I
I
see
It's
how
gonna
know.
be
it
like
is.
that.
I'm gonna be all
Also,
excited. I can't
also,
wait.
also, I'm making really good progress, and I don't want to,
You don't want to
I
stop.
don't want to
Oh,
stop
Gotta keep that momentum.
right this second.
did I build Belial in our last session?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I think we were just hanging out, but made Belial. He's super freaking awesome. I'm really, really happy with him. I got this
Oh yeah.
model a long time ago, 5 years. As you can see, it had been primed. I was going to go ahead and build it, and play it, and I just wasn't happy with the way it looked. So I did some more stuff. This sword is actually made out of a bunch of different swords. Um,
That's
because
super cool.
yeah, because wacky. I did this weird little
I don't understand your words. The sword is made out of a bunch of different other swords.
the
Yeah, he's
sword is made
kit
out of
bashed
three
the
different
sword.
swords
You
like
kit
that.
you kit
I kit
bashed a
bashed
sword.
the sword in his hand.
But
Made of
that's bananas.
That's what I'm saying.
But it has this super awesome hook up at the top, man. I had to with little hooky hooks.
The little
Oh,
hooky hooks. All right.
But yeah, so I used I used a Grey Knight helmet. I put a little cowl over him. I am way better at doing all that stuff now. And I'm like, gosh, should I just like rip his skull out with the pliers and redo him? Because I could do that, and I have the dopest helmet ever to do it with. But I kind of already changed a bunch of him, and he deserves better than that with the killing that he's done over the years. So much killing.
He deserves it.
He really does. So I think I'm gonna have to leave the helmet, but it was a whole thing, a serious thing.
A lot of pondering, contemplating, and lining stuff up and hemming and hawing.
I do that so much.
Oh yeah,
I
I know.
spend
I do
I
too.
spend more time doing that than anything else.
I hear you. I've been working on this guy here as my 5th Death Shroud Terminator, and I've spent way more time working on his scythe than I should. Gave him a little hood. This is just out of one of the regular Blightlord Terminators. Still have some work to do to sculpt on the little spewer.
Yeah.
And in the back, I decided to completely tear out the back here. And I'm going to put a tank back there.
So
Nice.
let me catch up on the comments really quick. Quick triple recall from Zaidan. Very clever. I need a better filter. I get headaches after using plastic glue.
Really?
So the first thing
careful.
that came to mind when you said filter was a lawyer as a cat, and then I realized you meant like an
I am not
actual
a cat.
filter. Gary Jules, Terminators, Arch Exterminators, late to the party but glad to be here. Welcome to have you here, David.
Thank you for showing up.
Lana, the question is it actually the color Ultramarine Blue? Because Ultramarines are not Ultramarine Blue. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a fair question right there too. Deep Blue from Army Painter is nice, mixes well with other Army Painter paints and Vallejo paints too. I agree with you 100%. I really only like to use contrast paints with Zenithal undercoats. I don't agree with you there. It works really well with Zenithal, but it's not the only way to do it.
Yeah, you gotta. I feel be careful with because some of the contrast paints, if you're painting them over black, they also look like poop.
Zaidan says, haven't built a land speeder since the one that came in third, but I still remember the annoyance. And then, I'm imagining all of you dressed as Kuzco. Great. Thank you.
Like
Is
from the
that a
Disney
good thing?
movie?
Yeah, I appreciate it. So I have another big announcement.
Ooh, okay.
The Rangers board game is now available for sale, and I have posted the links in the chat. There are two ways that you can buy the Rangers, and it is not $64.95. It is $64.95 Canadian, which is less than $50 US.
Yeah.
That is if you just want the board game itself. If you want the board game and the movie, you get a pretty big savings. It's $74.95 Canadian, which brings it to about, I think, like 60 something US, which is almost $10 off. It's pretty much like getting the movie for free. But that is limited to 50 copies, and I don't know how many copies have already sold. But you
Gotta
can
get them
go
now.
you can go to Mini Wargaming. I have posted the links if you're interested in buying the movie that I helped to make and the board game that I am in. I am third from the right. I have the long hair. I look
Super cool.
super cool. My son only wants to play as Dave, and that hurt my feelings.
I mean, I kind of want to play as Dave too.
But yeah, so you should, if you're interested in getting the movie and the board game, you should hop on that now. Otherwise, there's probably plenty of time to buy just the board games themselves, and they are for sale at Mini Wargaming Shop. I have the direct links, but if you just go to Mini Wargaming and then you go to Shop and then you go to All Products and then you go sort by newest to oldest, they are the two newest things available. But direct links in the chat.
I'm really happy for you, man. To be in a board game, almost better than producing a movie. I mean,
not only
it's a real give and take.
I'm with you, Aaron.
I'm more excited about the CGN logo being on a board game box.
More than your face, huh?
Yeah. Actually, yeah,
No,
yes.
okay,
Actually, yeah.
yeah.
No, 100%. Yes, because the CGN logo, like,
Mhm.
it's not. It's not. It means like it means that I help to actually bring something into the world, and that I'm not just part of something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I mean, you say
Some
uh-huh.
people would say the same about things called their children,
Well,
but
I feel that way about my. Well, we don't have to. It's not
Sway,
it's not a
Sway.
competition.
How old is he now?
6.5 ish.
So yeah, you got like 2 years.
Until what happens in 2 years?
You and him are no longer cool.
Oh, damn,
oh yeah, yeah.
And it doesn't
damn.
matter how many times you ask him to not leave his towel on the floor in that bathroom, bro.
Uh-huh.
It's gonna keep happening.
Just
I'm
pee
sorry.
pee all over all the walls next to your toilet.
It's gonna pee all over everything.
Everything.
And you would have thought that would have happened already, right?
No,
No.
it gets
No.
worse. It gets
It gets
worse
worse.
because they learn that they have control over things.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, life's cold.
Life is so cold.
Life is cold. Hey, I'm making Space Marines now. I'm making
So what did you
Space
do
Marines.
so
What?
far?
I have pretty much the entire body assembled, except for the top. I got to put the Space Marines, and then after the
Mhm.
Space Marines is the top, and then after the top is the accoutrements, and then the grav plates, and then more grav plates, and then this kit is actually pre-built so that you don't have to decide what guns you want. The It looks as though the spindle mount where the guns go, um, allows the guns to rotate up and down, and the spindle mount can rotate left and right, but it looks like you can just pop on and off the different weapons without magnetization or anything. So, with the
That's pretty
exception
cool.
with the exception of the built-in, I'm talking about the primary weapon options. The secondary weapon options, it does look like you have to pick or magnetize.
Man,
Gotcha.
it's like if you don't get to choose your primary, who cares about the secondary?
I don't know. I
Well,
mean,
so
my
real
I
fast.
mean, I need 6 because I wanted 2 of each.
Well, then you will have that.
It also looks like you can stick a ton of rockets on it, and I just want one just covered with rockets. Like, I
Yeah,
want to take all the rockets from all the kits and just put them all on one.
do it.
Orc style.
Yeah.
Orc orc style. Yeah. All
So,
right.
so I built those blade guards. Wait, give me a second. I built those blade guards, and I really felt that they were. The kit was fantastic. One of the most important things about it was kind of going back to what Aaron's saying. They built the kit in such a way that if he was holding the pistol or not holding the pistol, everybody came with a holster that had a handle sticking out of it and no handle sticking out of it. Everybody came with a scabbard that you could either enter a hand with the sword or the sword hilt or whatnot, or leave empty for him being, in the process of wielding his sword. So they did a really awesome job with manufacturing the components so that it was dope as hell and you could make all three of them in any way you wanted. So I remembered that because you were talking cool about that.
But does it allow you to go back and forth?
No.
What I'm saying is that the main gun you can go back and forth without magnetization.
What I'm saying is that we both found very interesting and useful things about our miniatures that make us happy.
And what I'm saying is I don't like that, and that I
Wow.
and that
All right.
Damn.
I want my thing to be more important than your thing.
Wow. Okay.
All right, well, now we
We
got
learned
that
all
out.
sorts of stuff about Aaron tonight.
Yup.
Listen, it's a whole new me. I'm singing.
Never truly
I'm
know someone.
I'm taking yoga. Yoga.
Burning
Yo,
White Castle.
I'm burning White Castle. I wish I could eat it. I'm gonna have to reheat up my burned White Castle.
Oh God. You do hate yourself.
Oh, that sounds so terrible. So, are we at the recap point where we talk about what we accomplished today?
Yeah, because we got to do the spin last. So we're 10 minutes till end. So let's do recap, and then we'll do the spin.
So let me go
Um,
first real quick because I'm awesome.
okay.
I built exactly one Deathwing Sergeant, but he's fucking cool, and he's ready to be primed. So I'm very happy with him.
Nice. I've just been working on 20
Railroad.
Podswalkers.
I've been working on the
Oh my god.
railroad.
So, you can kind of see them over there. I've been doing a lot of contrast paints. Basically, all the clothing on them is painted, and now I'm working on silvers. So, just rolling along on them.
Very nice.
According to the book, since the next major section is deciding what series of weapons you want to put on, like literally the second half of the book is just all the different weapons. I think that I am at least halfway done, if not 3/4 done, with Land Speeder Uno.
Cool.
But let me just get this Space Marine in, which means he needs arms. And I glued myself to him. There you go. There was the first me.
There it is.
Me gluing myself
You
to
did
something.
pretty good.
I've done excellent tonight. I think that we should all be very very proud of me.
Yeah.
Except for Sean, he has a legitimate reason to be mad at me.
Let's see.
Well,
no, I don't.
It was a little mean, but
yeah, it's all good.
Um,
I think the important part is that you recognize your failings and you continue to work towards resolving them by being careful, building miniatures, and not hurting yourself.
There you go. Baby steps, one day at a time.
Baby steps.
Okay, I made right. Right goes on right. And right is defined by placing the speeder like this. And this is right. Okay. All right. So, we have 9 minutes left.
8 minutes, but
I'm going to the wheel. I'm going to wait for the fake winner stuff to move.
The fake winner makes it sound like that this game is rigged.
No, I just accidentally clicked the button earlier. All right, here we go. We have 66 entries.
All right.
And boom. Around and around and around it goes. Where it stops, only we all will know. It is Sinosaur Wolf. Sinus Wolf.
Sinuses in the Sherwood Forest.
I love
congratulations.
So, congratulations. You have
owner of what now?
Sergeant Ripper Jackson, also a Valentine's date. I have saved your name. It is on the desktop. And I will contact you. I don't know where that name comes from. I don't know if it's a YouTube name or if it is a TikTok name. But however we need to figure it out, I will figure it out. I will get your shipping address, and I will be shipping this Sergeant Ripper Jackson to you. So congratulations. I don't see you in the live chat, but that's okay, I guess. And nobody can see me. Why didn't people tell me you can't see me? Right, I should do this camera and not the Zoom camera. Congratulations to Sinosure Wolf.
Sinosure Wolf.
If that's your real name. And I still have 7 minutes to keep making progress.
All right, dog, you're gonna get them done.
Oops. Yeah, man.
I don't think I'm gonna get it done. There's a lot of bobs and bits.
A lot of bobs, you say?
A lot of bobs and bits. So did y'all do anything for Valentine's Day other than hang out with me?
Well, my girlfriend came over last night and we hung out. We watched a couple episodes of The Expanse.
Are you caught up?
No, by no means are we caught up. Well, really, I'm caught up to the new season, but I decided not to watch the new season because I want her to get caught up so that we can watch it together.
Well, that's what I was curious of, whether you're caught up to the new season. I started Babylon 5. Now I watched Babylon 5 when it was on air. I was a child.
Me too.
I watched it another time through a long time ago. My mom had it on like VHS, I think, and I watched it. But I've come to realize something. In terms of like in terms of progressive television, via the inclusion of non-stereotypical accents for aliens, the inclusion of people of color, allowing women to represent aspects of society beyond their tropes. I think that Babylon 5 is more progressive than Star Trek.
Wow, that's
So,
saying
so
something.
first of all, um, the head doctor is African American.
Okay.
They changed actors, but they kept him African American. The second in command is a Jewish woman. And then they just have they literally have scenes where like the white like stoic commander calls Earth, and a high-ranking government official answers the call to tell him off and be like, "Do what we tell you to do," and it's a woman. And I was like, "Wow," you know what I mean? Like this is pretty cool. Um, so I think but here's where Babylon 5 lacks in comparison to Star Trek. I think Babylon 5 does a much worse job of predicting future technology.
It's been
Um,
too long since I've watched to be able to comment on that.
so it's like they still have like, with the exception of like data crystals holding information instead of DVDs, it's like, you know, instead of having the communicator on their chest, they have it on their wrist.
There's no Wi-Fi.
There's no Wi-Fi.
So
Everything
it's
is
like
on.
Star Wars level of future thinking of technology.
But if Star Wars was made in the '90s, you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah. But I mean, I'm just saying. I mean,
Yeah,
and don't get me wrong,
yeah.
I love me
It's
some Star Wars.
it's
But
very '90s. But I was like, wow, like I don't know much about the writers or whatnot, but um, lots of like, you know, cross religion references, and like I was just very surprised. I was like, wow, this show seems from a progressive standpoint to fit better in now than what I would expect from a late '80s, early '90s show. And when you compare it to the Star Trek equivalent, I think it actually does a better job, which is one of the hallmarks. You know what I mean? That's like one of the
yeah,
hallmarks of Star Trek, is this like, utopian, inclusive diversity.
yep.
And I think Babylon 5 crushes that, with the caveat of Discovery, obviously, you know what I mean? Obviously takes that to a T. So,
Discovery, huh?
yeah,
More so
Discovery.
than TNG, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh, way more than TNG. I mean, when you actually think about it, TNG is kind of non-progressive. So you start out with
Yeah, there's a lot of like
you
people.
start out with an all-white bridge crew. Okay. You have a woman who is in command authority. She's chief of security.
Uh-huh.
She gets killed. She's then replaced by an African American actor who plays an alien who has to have bumps on his forehead, right, as a black officer, right? That's their black officer, a weird looking alien,
Fair, yeah.
whose culture is like
Whoa!
not only war, but also lacking subtlety and sophistication, right?
Uh-huh.
Which is not very progressive. So they kill the white lady and then replace it with a weird.
But then Whoopi.
Well, yeah, there's Whoopi Goldberg who comes in. So I'm just saying, Oh, and then what is the full version? You have the empath, right? The beautiful woman empath, because women are more attuned to emotions. So of course the beautiful woman is a empath. You know what I mean? Like, that's super cliche and very non-progressive. Now, later on in the series, yes, she does take the officer test and she becomes, I believe, a second lieutenant or something like that, equivalent rank of Data. But it takes 6 seasons to get there.
Are
Um,
you forgetting Jordy? Yeah, good point, Starhawks.
yeah. So then the only other character uh,
Jordy.
is Geordie LaForge. who represents both. He represents two things, right? Because he's blind. So it's really only Geordi when you come down to it. Um, and Geordi is technically not in command. He's in the engine room. I'm just saying. He's not on the bridge. He's not bridge crew. So I was just like, first of all, it's a really good show. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying rewatching it, and I was a little bit surprised at the amount of progressive casting and roles.
And what can you watch it on? Like, is it on Hulu, Netflix, HBO?
I know that you can watch it on something, but
Oh, something.
I had actually already purchased half of it on iTunes, so I just completed the purchase. So I've been watching it on iTunes.
Got it all. All right. Well,
I
I guess on that note,
It is
everyone
that
should
time.
go watch it.
Is it that time?
It is
It
that
is.
time. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much. You've been very chatty tonight. That is absolutely fantastic. I love
Love
talking
it.
to
Fun
you.
show.
Thank you, Starhawk, David, Lana, Patrick, Zaidan, everybody else who joined us. Also, congratulations to our winner, whose name I'm not going to try to say again. I will get in contact with you so that you can have your Ripper. If you are watching us live and you are not subscribed, you should subscribe. If you want to help us take this adventure to the next level, check out our Patreon. Consider joining even at the very lowest level tier. Every little bit helps. If you want to be in constant communication, or if you want some help with your hobby and just in general want to like hang out with other people who are hobbyers, join our Discord, where we have a wonderful and active hobby group. And as always, Happy Valentine's Day. That's not as
Mm-hmm.
always. Happy
Uh-huh.
Valentine's Day today. But as always, we'll see you
On the table.